Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video of how to set up your lspdfr with mods, we are going to be going over the Vehicles.Meta process. Now I'm going to try to go fairly slow. I will try to provide assistance to anybody in the comments as I see them. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to want to open OpenIV again, or Open4. Again, I'm going to refer to Open4. You're going to want to go into edit mode if you weren't already. You're going to want to click yes to make sure that you're in edit mode. And then for the sake of visualizing all this, I'm going to click this pathway. So we're going to want to look for Vehicles.Meta. So we're going to look for, gosh, I don't know what that is. That's not even a... So we're gonna go to, I'm gonna go to my mods, update.rpf, and then from here we're gonna go to common, data, levels, GTA 5, and then you're gonna want to look for this file called Vehicles.Meta. And from here, if you would like to modify this file using OpenIV or Open4, we're going to want to right click this file and click edit. And then it will open up this menu here. And so this is how Grand Theft Auto reads its vehicle files. And so how it acts the way that it acts, how it sounds the way it sounds, is all through here. And so there are more than 23,000 lines of code for this vehicle, and I'm again gonna try to go as slow as possible, because if you do not do this correctly, it will break your game. And trust me, I've done it plenty of times to the point where I've had to verify my game files and completely start from scratch over a simple line of code. Like if I were to take this little thing out, this greater than sign here, this would break the game. So you want to be as careful as possible when modifying these files, just as to not break the game. So if you follow everything step by step, you will not break your game as long as you follow every step to a T. So what we're going to want to do, like I said before, we're not going to go scrolling down through all of these files, because there are 23,000 lines of code. So we're going to want to hit Control F, and it'll open this search menu. You want to find, let's say, Police 2. And it will warp you to the closest Police 2 line. You just want to click enter a few times until you reach model name Police 2. That's how you know you're to the Police 2 model. So for me, it would be the Charger. And how you make your Charger sound like a Charger, for those of you who don't know, it's going to be under audio name hash. And so what you're going to want to do is, maybe your audio name hash looks something like this. If your audio name hash looks something like this, that's fine. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to finish this line. So you're going to want to add a greater than sign, and then in all caps, you're going to want to type wind. Oops, if I can type it correctly, that would be awesome. So wind, WINDSOR. And so that will make the Charger sound like the Enos Windsor. And from here, you're going to want to put a less than sign, and then a slash. I believe that's a /, but don't quote me on that, to end this file. And then you're going to want to type in all lowercase audio, and then uppercase N, lowercase AME, capital H, lowercase ASH, and then you're going to want to put the greater than sign to end this file, And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to end or delete these 2 extra characters here. And so now your Police 2 file will sound like a charger. You can edit this if your Police 3 has a charger in it. You can make your Police 3 file sound like that. So as of now, what I'm going to do is I am going to put the slash and let's see, this character back, and I'm going to delete this because this is not the vehicle I want to sound like that. And I'm going to put the file back like this. This is the vanilla audio name hash for the 9F. So we're going to go back to, let's say we'll do Police 3 now. And it automatically warped me to model name Police 3. That's how I know I'm at my Taurus. And so my Taurus sounds like a Taurus or even a V6, naturally aspirated V6, because I have it sounding like the Obey Tailgater. And you can obviously, I can leave a link for the audio name hash specific files, or not files rather, but the names for each individual vehicle. So if you wanted your, say, Charger to sound like a more beefy V8, like maybe like a carbureted V8, you can type in the specific file name and then finishing the audio name hash with this here. It would be this here. Obviously, it would sound like your V8 or whatever you choose to sound it, make it sound like rather. And so that is how you modify your Vehicles.Meta for audio name hash. If you spawn your vehicle and your vehicle has excessive tint, you can't see the lights on the light bar, the headlights and taillights are black, and along with the windows and everything else, you cannot see inside the vehicle. If you're in third person, or if you're in first person, you can't see outside of the vehicle. That would be your diffuse tint line, and you don't have to do anything special here. If your diffuse tint line had 0x0, say A0, A0A, you don't want that. You want 0x00 Foxtrot, 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 Foxtrot. That sounds like a lot. There are, I think I can see 7 Fs, and they have to be between these parentheses here. Not parentheses, quotation marks. Jeez, it's been a long day. I apologize. So that is how you get your tint line to set to factory or no tint at all. And most aftermarket, I say aftermarket, I mean modded vehicles, some of them will be broken with the tint, some of them won't. And so that is how you fix the tint line for that. And so all you have to do is pretty much from this point on save your file. But I want to go over one more thing just in case. If you get in game and your car is flipping, I know the Taurus is notorious for this. You're going to want to look at the handling ID. Now this Taurus in specific handles fine. However, some of them won't. I know my Police 4, I'll go ahead and go to my Police 4 so you can see that I've modified it. This Taurus was excessively flipping at low speeds. If I were to take a corner even the slightest bit too fast, or even at any normal speed, like say 8, 9, 10 miles an hour, it would flip. So what you're going to want to do, what I did for my Taurus, is I made it handle like the Obey Tailgater, and this is the file or the name for that, for the handling ID. It's Tailgate, Tailgate. Now I know, and I asked myself this question when I broke my game over this. You might figure, why isn't it called Tailgater like the audio name hash is, and not Tailgate? which is the way that the handling ID is. And honestly, I can't tell you why it's like that. And I did get pretty frustrated when I pretty much broke my game. Every time I would load in, the game wouldn't even get past the initializing screen, and it would just crash. It would just take me back to my home screen, and I would eventually had to figure out what was wrong, and this was the case. Just another example of how things break if you don't type in things exactly how the game expects it. So from here, we're gonna go to save, and now you have a modded Vehicles.Meta file. And I'm going to go over one more thing before I stop the video here, and we're going to go ahead and move on to other things. Is we're going to go to we're going to back up two more. So instead of so we're going to go, I guess I'll just go back to mods. We're going to go update.rpf common data, and then you're going to want to see this file here called visualsettings.dat. Now, I personally love bright lights, and I'm sure if most of you have seen my videos even in the past, you'll notice that I do have pretty bright lights. I always update my own files. I do make my own files. This one's an older one, but I do make my own visual settings files tuned to my preference. So like I have different dome lights inside the car. I have different tag lights for the license plate, and all that stuff. You don't need it. However, if you want it, you can find most of them, like NVR, Natural Vision Remastered has it. Radiance 5 has a visual settings file. But what you're going to want to do is to move a file to Open4 to modify this file. You're just going to want to click and drag it from anywhere. Make sure your Open4 is in edit mode and release it, and it will, instead of saying compressed encrypted, it will just say compressed. And that's how you know your modified file is in there. And from there, you can go ahead, and if you are finished with this, you can just go ahead and close out of Open4. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that and go to your GTA 5 directory, and then you can then launch lspdfr. But as for now, I'm going to end this video here, and we're going to go over how to install weapons, and then sound mods as the final thing that I'm going to be going over. This is a pretty intricate video series. However, I've seen a bunch of how-to videos on how to do lspdfr, or how to mod Grand Theft Auto 5 to include lspdfr, but none of them really go into detail on like how to make your cars sound a specific way, or how to maybe update something. So maybe in the future, when Grand Theft Auto 5 updates and Rage Plugin Hook maybe needs an update from there, I will go ahead and release another video on how to update that as to not break everything. But as for now, that's going to be the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next part in this series, where I go over how to add guns or weapons into your Grand Theft Auto 5. So go ahead and stay tuned for that, and we will be back soon.